Welcome back to Console Confessions, where superhero showdowns meet moral meltdowns. Today, we're throwing punches in Marvel rivals while diving into Reddit's most brutally honest battleground. Am I the asshole? Whether it's petty drama, entitled family members, or just plain chaos, these stories are as explosive as the gameplay. So buckle up, because while the heroes fight in-game, we're judging the real villains. In the comments section.
I got divorced from my wife Emily because she cheated on me with multiple men. We have a son and a daughter. Our son Nick has always been closer to his mom, and our daughter Skylar has always been closer to me. Not knowing why we got divorced, the kids took their mom's side. I recently started dating Lisa. She has a fun personality. She's smoking hot, and she dresses very fun. When I introduced Lisa to my kids, Nick took a liking to her while Skylar looked annoyed. Days later, Skylar said that Lisa looks like an OnlyFans chick. If you knew Skylar, you would be shocked that she would use that as a way to insult another woman. I told her that her mom Emily was the one who cheated on me, and that I met Lisa after the divorce. Skylar just said, "Oh," and she got quiet. But the next day, my ex-wife Emily confronted me. I reminded her that I never promised to keep her cheating a secret. She said that I implied that it would be a secret based on the fact that I never said whether or not I would tell our kids. Am I the asshole?
I have been married to my soon-to-be ex-wife Madison for 4 years. We are currently in counseling, but it is not going to work. About a year ago, I found out she was having an affair by coming home to their clothes in our living room and sounds coming from our bedroom. I lost it. I was getting my cricket bat out of the front closet when I stopped to think about consequences. I did not want to go to jail. Instead, I took all their clothes and left quietly. I went to a friend's house, but not before throwing all the clothes in a McDonald's garbage can. I turned off my phone and got shit-faced with my buddy. After I turned my phone back on, I had dozens of calls and texts from Madison. First scared because she got my updated flight information, then upset that I hadn't called her to let her know I was going to be coming home early, then freaked out that the house had been broken into, then crazy because she figured out it was me. They just got more deranged. The guy she was with is 5 inches shorter than me and about 60 pounds lighter, so if he had taken my clothes it would be obvious. He ended up calling his friend to go get his spare keys from his house. Unfortunately for him, his wife smelled a rat and followed his friend back to my house, where she saw him leaving in oversized clothes. Long story short, she took pictures and she had evidence of his infidelity, which caused their prenup to be canceled, which cost him a lot of money. It is all one big giant shit show. It took a couple of months, but my wife convinced me to try and forgive her. We started going to counseling and we were working our way through it, until recently. In a counseling session, she said that I was wrong to steal his wallet, phone, and car keys. She said that his divorce is costing him a lot of money and that I should have dealt with it in a more mature manner and that it was my fault. I have never admitted to taking his stuff. To begin with, I was afraid he might call the cops. Then I didn't want to give her ammunition in case she wanted a divorce. Now I just don't care. I told her that her cheating was the reason her boyfriend is getting divorced and that I hope his ex takes everything. I am still not living at home. I have my own apartment and I'm filing for divorce. Now that I know how she feels, it is kind of a slap in the face that she is blaming me for his divorce.
When I was in college, I met my boyfriend and we moved in together, sharing a place with some friends, after dating for a year. I was 19 when we met and 20 when we moved in together. We decided from that point onward to take turns spending Christmas with our families. But the first year we were supposed to see mine, my mom made it clear my boyfriend could not stay, and we weren't sharing a room or a bed in her house. My dad argued in favor of letting it happen since I was an adult and living with him already, but Mom said no. She hated that I wouldn't stay at their house then and instead booked an Airbnb. She said I should respect the rules of her house, and I told her I was, but I didn't want to tell my boyfriend to be alone on the holidays, and especially when his family had welcomed us together happily. After that, I made it clear there would be no coming to visit like that if I couldn't sleep with my boyfriend. My mom said it wasn't like we were married, so she had every right to that rule. 2 years ago, my dad died, and for 11 months my mom has been in a relationship with her boyfriend. They don't live together exactly, but according to my brother, he was there most nights while he was still there. My mom and brother aren't really talking right now. My brother could hear mom and her boyfriend in bed and he hated it, so he moved out. He's also 22 and had wanted to move, but it gave him the push to move. My mom was furious and demanded to know why he was leaving out of nowhere, and she freaked when my brother told her he was tired of hearing them. It started Mom off on him not being happy for her that she found someone again after Dad died. My mom seems to be missing my brother being around, and she told me she misses having her kids around her, so she wanted to visit for a week or two soon. She wanted to bring her boyfriend along, and I told her she can't share a room or a bed with him in my home. I told her I do not want to hear that. She got mad at me and said she's a grown woman and should be allowed her freedom. I told her she was all right denying it to me and I wasn't even planning to have sex in her house. But it sounded like she doesn't care if we hear or not, and I'm not dealing with it. I also told her I wasn't going to reward her with sharing with her boyfriend when she has been so strict with me about it. My mom accused me of acting like a petty child.
I am writing this because I don't know what to do. I have a daughter with my late wife and her name is Eleanor. Her birthday is coming up in 2 weeks and she's turning 18. Background: me and my late wife Chloe had been dating since college. We got older and ended up getting married, and after our wedding, she shared news to me that she was pregnant, and I was excited that we were expecting our first child. Since it was our first child, we bought a video camera and made little tapes and snippets of her whole pregnancy, wholesome things such as us just joking around or having lunch, or talking to our unborn child through the camera. We made a promise to only show Eleanor the tapes on her 18th birthday. Fast forward 2 years after her birth, Chloe passed away due to a drunk driver crashing into her car as she was coming home from her mother's house. I was devastated of her passing and went into a deep depression and having to raise our 2-year-old daughter by myself. My friends tried to get me to go out again and start back dating, but every time I did I felt like I was betraying her. Years later, when Eleanor was 13, I met Wendy. We met at a gathering for my sister's birthday, and we instantly hit it off. She didn't mind that I had a daughter because she had 2 kids herself and just went through a divorce. Years later, we got married. Eleanor's 18th birthday is coming up, and I kept all the tapes for me to show her. Mind you, her mother died when she was just 2, so Eleanor doesn't remember her touch or her voice. I was excited to show her the tapes, and a week ago I was talking to Wendy about it, and I noticed her expression going from happy to looking a bit uncomfortable. Wendy would always get uncomfortable when I talk about my late wife. I don't say things like, "Why can't you be like Chloe?" or "Chloe was only supposed to be my first love." But I talk about her in a way to give my daughter a mental picture of how her mother was like. Wendy has always talked to me about Chloe and how it made her sad that she can never be like her. Chloe was a model, then started working on her fashion career, and don't get me wrong, she was a really beautiful woman, while Wendy had 2 kids in college and not in the best shape due to her words. I love both women how they are, and I've never had a preference, but I feel like Wendy is gaining some jealousy towards Chloe. I told Wendy that I love her just the way she was, and she broke down crying. The next day after that incident, she came up to me and apologized for the way she acted last night. I told her it was okay, and it's good that she felt comfortable to share her feelings, and I gave her a tight hug and a kiss on her forehead. She asked to see where the tapes were at, and I showed her the box of videotapes of my late wife in my closet. Things were going fine until yesterday morning. I was looking for the tapes because I wanted to put them in a prettier box for my daughter, and when I went to go find them, the box wasn't in my closet. I looked everywhere to the point I walked downstairs to see my wife laying on the couch watching TV. I asked her about the box and she told me she threw it away with a neutral expression. My heart dropped and I asked her what did she mean, and she told me that I talk about her too much and that I need to move on with my life, so she threw them away as a head start. I was fuming with anger because not only did she throw away what I had left of her, she threw away my daughter's big surprise. We quickly got into an argument, and she noticed how angry I was, so she started apologizing. It got to the point I started crying and locked myself in our bedroom. It's the morning, and I'm writing this in my office going through my computer, finding old files or any type of video of my late wife to give it to my daughter, because sometimes my daughter still cries that she never got to meet her mother, and I really thought it would bring her closer to her. I've been ignoring my wife for the past day, and she's been texting me nonstop about how sorry she is, but I really just can't look at her right now. It's getting to the point our mutual friends are texting me to accept her apology and get over it since Chloe died over 10 years ago, but I'm trying to ignore them all because they never had someone so close to them die. I am working on finding these files, and I'm starting to think I was overreacting. I don't know what to do, and I really need help.
My wife was sitting in the recliner watching her iPad right outside the kids' bedrooms. I figure I'm in the clear to take a long shower. When I turn the shower off, I hear my 3-year-old crying and screaming for Daddy. I hurry. As I'm going through the family room, I look at my wife, sitting watching her iPad, and say, "You couldn't calm him down?" She says, "No, I tried 3 times. I go into his room and pick him up. He immediately stops crying and starts trying to catch his breath. I feel what I thought were tears dripping down my shoulder. I think, poor guy has been so upset for so long, long enough for my wife to come in 3 times. I lay him in bed and start tucking him in. He says, I have a mess. I figure tears and snot. I grab wipes and tissue and turn the flashlight on my phone on. That's when I realized he was covered in blood. His first bloody nose, and it was bad. All over his face, arms, clothes, stuffy blanket, and I'm covered. Those were not tears dripping down my shoulder. I get him cleaned up and asked my wife to shout the bloody items while I get him cleaned up. I'm tucking him in, and I ask why he didn't let Mommy help. He said, Mommy didn't check on me. Somebody never checked on me. Now my wife is pissed at me for me expecting her to help. I'm pissed at her for not taking care of our son while I'm in the shower and she's watching her iPad, and I'm pissed that she's pissed I expected her to help.
I am 30 years old and male. My wife Jessica is 22. My wife has a 7-year-old son Max, whom she had when she was 15 years old. The father, who was her boyfriend in junior high school and is the same age as Jessica, actually left the state when he and his family learned that she was pregnant. Jessica has no idea where he is, and since her family is well off, she didn't really need or care for his support. I met Jessica when she was 20, we dated for a year, and then got married when she was 21. I love Max and raise him as if he was my own son. Last month, Max came to my workplace with Jessica in the early afternoon to surprise me with a lunch outing. As they waited for me to finish up a meeting, the front desk secretary, Claire, chatted with Jessica. I wasn't there for the conversation, but Claire was stunned at how young Jessica looked, and Jessica said she was 22. Apparently, Claire did a bit of napkin math and came to the following conclusions. 1. Jessica is 22 and I am 30. 2. Max is 7. 3. That means Jessica and I had Max when she was 15 and I was 23. Apparently, from that day on, Claire began gossiping about this. I had no idea what was going on, but I did notice that Claire abruptly changed her attitude towards me, glaring when she thought I wasn't looking or rolling her eyes when I talked to other people. Well, today at work, when I was in the bathroom washing my hands, I overheard Claire gossiping with a new hire about my underaged wife outside the door by the water cooler. I left the bathroom and then walked up behind Claire. She turned around and looked like a deer in the headlights at me, and so I announced, loudly, Hi Claire, you see I'm not Max's biological father. In all of your gossiping to other people, you forgot to consider the most obvious possibility, which was that I am his stepfather. I will, by the way, be reporting you to HR for this. I headed directly to HR and explicitly told them what Claire had said, and the manager, a fellow gossip friend of Claire's, asked if I really wanted to escalate over something so small. I said yes. She then told me Claire is a single mother and relies on this job and that I shouldn't have embarrassed her in front of the office like that. I insisted on filing a report. After calming down a bit, I feel kind of bad about what I did. Claire cried at her desk and left early. Was I an asshole to approach the issue that way?
Am I the asshole for telling my husband I already knew he cheated on me? A week and a half ago, I was on his phone to order something on Amazon. There was a notification from a number I didn't recognize. I clicked on it and there were months worth of flirty texts, inappropriate pictures, and she even asked him to come to her apartment a few times. I knew I couldn't stay with him because he was a cheater, obviously, but I couldn't break things off immediately. We have 3 kids together, and I don't want him to get the kids, but we signed a prenup because he had some money he wanted to protect. I was scared that a judge would give him custody because he can afford to take care of them better, but the prenup had a clause where it's dissolved if he's unfaithful. I wasn't going to do anything crazy. I just wanted to find a lawyer before mentioning anything to him. But yesterday he told me about the cheating and apologized. I told him I knew about it already. He got mad at me for not telling him sooner. He told me that I'm ruining our family by keeping secrets from him. Like, okay, hypocrite much? But anyways, now I'm also wondering if I should forgive him since he came clean. I still want our kids to grow up normal. I don't want a broken home for them. If he was willing to tell me and to apologize, could we still make things work? Am I the asshole for not telling him I knew sooner?
My wife passed away. She was in a car accident. We had separated for a few months, and this was due to her wanting to be with her affair partner. They had been together for about 1.5 years. They told me they had been genuinely in love. 3b. Divorce hasn't been finalized, so legally speaking, I am responsible for my wife's body. We have 2 kids. Both of them in their teens. They have been a mess. I can't say I've been much better. At one point I was so angry at my wife that I wanted her to get hurt. Now I find myself wishing she was still here with me and our kids. I've been making arrangements for the funeral, and the partner has reached out to me on social media. He's been asking if he could know if we are going to have a funeral or a memorial service or something. I told him to fuck off. I keep justifying this. I'm trying to keep my family from falling apart, and I've been dealing with the funeral costs. There's just so much I need to do, but I'd be lying if I said part of me didn't wish for this guy to hurt.
My husband and I filed our taxes jointly this year for the past 2 years. I was completely unaware that he had $7,000 in unpaid child support. I thought he was making regular monthly payments. We were expecting a refund, but only $175 was deposited. Feel blindsided, violated, and taken advantage of. When I brought this up, he dismissed my feelings and told me I should be grateful the child support is now paid off because it means he can contribute more money each month. That logic doesn't make sense to me. His child is still under 18, so he still has to make ongoing payments regardless. I feel physically ill. He is not supportive of how I'm feeling whatsoever and is actually angry at me for how I am responding. Am I the asshole?
I hang out with a group of friends, and one of them is a rather boastful influencer. She would talk about her wealth, trips, cars, boyfriends, etc. nonstop. Usually the rest of us would just listen and not really take offense because she was just rattling off about herself. Recently, this friend snagged an extremely rich boyfriend, and she proceeded to move into his multi-million-dollar mansion. She was so excited and posted pictures of the pool, jacuzzi, etc. She invited us to her new house and specifically said, "I want to invite all of you for dinner at my new house with my boyfriend." The rest of us accepted the invitation and came to the house. All the wealth she talked about really existed, and her boyfriend was nice. He didn't stay throughout as he had paperwork to finish in his room. Soon it was dinner time. We were all hungry as it was quite a long drive to the mansion, and suddenly my friend took out her phone and said, "Okay, I'll be ordering food and drinks from a nearby mart. Tell me what you want and I'll get it delivered here." I thought it was strange that she was ordering food only instead of having food already prepared for us guests. No drinks were served either. We had to order them as well. The food came. It was cold, but I ate and didn't think much of it. After we left, the friend proceeded to send us a text of the detailed breakdown of the cost of the food that we each ordered, with a firm reminder to quickly transfer her the money. The first thing that came to my mind was annoyance. She gave us the impression that she would serve us dinner at her boyfriend's multi-million-dollar mansion, but it just ended up with each of us paying for our dinner. What sort of hostess was she? I felt that her invitation was misleading. I wasn't expecting a 10-course dinner, but social convention would imply that at least some simple food and water would be served for the guests, and guests would not be charged. We transferred her the money, and then I sarcastically texted in the group chat saying, "Oh wow, if I knew we were all paying for our individual meals, we could have met at a restaurant for dinner. I guess all that wealth in the house was just for show." Then I left the group chat. Since that incident, I never hung around much with her.
And that's another chaotic crossover in the books. Heroes clashed, judgments were passed, and honestly, some of these Reddit users need more than just therapy, maybe a sidekick. If you enjoyed the madness, smash that like button harder. Then Iron Man hits the ult, and subscribe for more storytelling over high-powered gameplay. Drop your takes in the comments. Who was right, who was wrong, and who was just plain insufferable? Until next time, this has been Console Confessions, where the only thing more dramatic than the powers is the pettiness.